Standardised tests. The fastest way to terrify any child with 5 letters outside of just whispering the word clown.
Assessments.
When we think particularly of our English language learners, we want to make sure that we are mindful of the language that they have and where do we need to provide support so that they're able to express what they know. What are the language components that they need to learn to demonstrate that they understand those concepts?
So my role in preparing my students for formal and standardized testing is just to lessen the anxiety and let them know that there are different accommodations there that are going to help them to do well on the test.
Research shows that a certain amount of native language instruction plus English during the day actually helps children learn English faster and keep current on their academic subject.
If you have a child who comes from a Spanish-speaking family, they speak Spanish at home with their family members, they watch Spanish TV, listen to Spanish radio, speak Spanish to the people in their neighborhood. If they then go to school and get 30 minutes a day of English and 5 hours and 30 minutes a day of Spanish, you can see why so few of them learn English every year.
Right now, non-native English speakers attend feeder bilingual schools like the one here at Lake Weston. Here they are taught in both English and their native language. And many experts say that is the best way for English language students to learn.
For basic bilingual students and their families who've chosen that design, we see very good results on standardized tests in English. The students who are in English-only programs, we don't see the same kinds of results, and they seem to have lower test scores.
Language.
At Rio Rancho Elementary School, something interesting emerged out of the classes called English Language Learning, or ELL classes. All the students in these classes, English and Spanish speaking, scored perfectly on state assessments.
Inside these classrooms, you'll hear as much Spanish as English. Peggy Moss is the school's principal.
Immersion is basically learning content and all the objectives and skills that you normally would in school, but through a second language. The dual immersion part is a very important part of our school. If you don't have parents at home who can help you with your homework, in the classroom is where they have to really get their skills and strategies to be able to tackle the work that we give them. And it's the same for the English speakers too, because their parents usually can't help them with their homework either because they don't speak Spanish. So they're all in the same boat and they're just learning side by side.
Mike Turner of Rio Rancho Elementary School is a very proud teacher. She teaches ELL, or English Language Learners, but in her classroom, everyone is a language learner. Some of the students spoke English first, some Spanish. Both languages are spoken in the classroom.
Every child needs to have a second language because we're so diverse, and also because it's more important for when they're older, they have more opportunities.
Are starting over. His eldest son, Oscar, an American citizen, is more comfortable speaking English than Spanish.
Like, since I'm not really good in Spanish, it's like hard to really communicate.
But he has bigger problems. He's one of thousands of kids in the state of Puebla stuck in the middle, able to go to school but can't get a diploma.
The immigration crisis is not only a matter for border states. Here in the heart of Miami's South Beach, families live with the fear of deportation. And children who play today can tomorrow wake up orphans in the United States.
Close relative, but when you're separated from that caregiver at a young age, it can have lifelong effects on how you're able to relate to others and relate to yourself. Yeah, that uncertainty is very difficult for children. They need consistency, they need routine, they need to know what's happening. And to not know where they're going to be or what's going to happen, both to themselves and their loved ones, can really be devastating to how a child is able to self-regulate themselves, their emotions, and their behaviors.
Researchers noted that at least 100,000 parents living and working in the U.S. illegally have been detained or deported over the past decade, often in workplace raids. They have left behind thousands of children. The study finds when those kids are separated from their parents, they suffer a wide range of financial, social, and emotional hardships. The most common is not having a stable place to live.
One of my friends, his brother, he got stopped by the police last week. He got sent to jail. I don't know why, because he didn't have a license. And then I think today he got deported back to Mexico.
There's also this girl that's in a different class. Her mom and her dad both got stopped by the police. So she doesn't have her parents right now.